Hey everyone, I'm the Casual Prince, and welcome to the first episode of my review series of Arthur and the Revenge of Maltazard, the book. I've just reread the chapter to refresh myself on what happens, and yeah, so how these episodes are going to go, I'm going to give a good description of what happens in the chapter, and then I'm going to review it. So this, obviously, chapter 1, unlike the movie, which starts with a very large group of Pinpins and Pitberries getting ready for the 10th moon dinner. I'm tired and I can barely speak, and I have a sore throat, so excuse me. As I was saying, let me start that again. So the book starts differently to the movie, because the movie starts with Pitberries and Pinpins gathering water and nuts and berries and such for the 10th moon feast. However, the book starts after all of that, and starts with the appearance of the bee. Now, this bee is obviously the very famous one that got trapped in Armand's jelly trap, and her story is no different in the book than it is in the movie. She falls for it hook, line and sinker, landing on the jelly, and Armand traps her. Rose comes out, stepping on Alfred's tail because she's clumsy as anything, and has a ridiculous mask on. She states that the poor creature must be suffering and that perhaps they should let it go, but Armand is probably more hateful of these creatures than he is in the movie, and tells her to go get the aerosol. At which point, Alfred realizes that this man is one step away from committing murder, and goes off to get none other than Arthur himself. It is a pretty short chapter, but a lot of them actually are. You don't really realize it until you're describing it. I think this is a very, very nice chapter to start on. I also like it how we've not been introduced to Arthur yet, but we've been introduced to his parents, who do not measure up to him whatsoever. But my favourite part, or shall I say my favourite line of this chapter, was most likely the few that were at the end, which goes as follows, in describing Alfred, of course. He's running to the only being that can come to help him in such dramatic circumstances, to an exceptional man who made 1,001 feats, can get out of any situation, and everybody loves him, though he strikes fear in many. In other words, to his master, Arthur. Now, the reason that's my favourite line is not only because it introduces us to Arthur's character, but it does so in a very meaningful and awesome way. It reminds us who Arthur is, seeing as it is a new book from the previous two. So I just really like how that line introduces Arthur. It reminds us who he is and what he's been through. And yeah, that is pretty much all I've got to say for the chapter. These videos will be quite short because obviously there's only so much I can say about these chapters. But I'm looking forward to getting to reading and reviewing chapters that I haven't actually read yet. So thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I will see you on another video very, very soon. Goodbye, everyone.